Hey, this is John McLaughlin. So you've probably seen a lot of my videos using the Crossfire Gold Trading Strategy. And what I generally do is go right from the start all the way through and show you a whole session. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you the setup, how I set things up and how simple and straightforward it is to get things started in the right way. So what you see in front of you here is my trading view, and you can get to a dual screen just by going up to the icon here. And most people have the single layout. Okay, one thing I like to do is have the dual layout, and what I've got here is the 15-minute time frame here on the left, and I've got the 5-minute time frame here on the right. And what we do with Crossfire is that we put all the indicators on the 15-minute time frame, and then we use all our trade ideas come from the 5-minute time frame. Okay, and for illustration purposes, what I've done, I've put this one on replay just to show you from 1300 to 1500 is when the session is. So 1300 to 1500 GMT UK time is when the Crossfire Gold session happens. It's the open of the US market. And what I do, because I've got the dual screen, the way to do this is really simple and straightforward, is just simply go on the trading view, go on the dual screen and pull in the pairs that you want. Obviously they're both going to be gold, both using the same broker. Currently I use Global Prime because you'll get the same feed, so do that. And then what you can do as well is, once you've got all the indicators on your chart, so your moving averages, the PSARs, the candles, everything how you want it, is go and right click and then click on apply these indicators to entire layout, and that will duplicate the indicators on both panes. The other thing to do as well is also click this link here, and what will happen then is anything that you put on the chart, and you can see the crosshairs on both, so anything that you draw on, hang on, let's put that so let's do a trend line. Anything that you draw will be duplicated on both, okay, and that's what you want. Okay, so it just makes it easy and simple to do. Now if you're somebody that likes a single layout, just go for the single layout, go for what you know and go with what you're comfortable with. That's what I always say on my sessions. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get the indicators on. So currently we're on the 15-minute time frame, and what we want is the rectangle box on 1300 to 1500, and essentially this just highlights the session time. So the session is between 13 and 15. This just highlights the area. Next thing you want is the trend line. So what I do when I first come on the chart, so just put the trend line on and leave it on. Okay, and the next one, just drag it on. 2 trend lines, that's all you need. 2 trend lines, and I change the top one to green. That's it. Okay. Now at 13.15, we put the trend lines on at 13.15 because the 1300 candle will finish painting, so you'll know where to put the trend lines on. And the way I do the trend lines is I go over to the magnet tool, and what I'm looking for on this candle, I'm looking for the higher high next to it. So if I look left, okay, where's the higher high? And clearly you can see the wick here. Okay, look at the crosshair, the top of the wick, and the higher high is the top of the wick on this green candle here, because it's the higher high next to it. Okay, now by the same token, I'm looking for the lower low on the red trend line. So this wick is a tiny, maybe a tiny wick just on there. Then this one next to it is higher than the lower low is here, the bottom of this wick here. So I'll go and put that on there, and you can see from using the magnet tool, the trend line just snaps to it, and it just makes it nice and accurate and simple. Once I've done that, take the magnet tool off, and then what I do is I just click and drag the trend line, and I'm going to put that on top of the wick on the 1300. So that's where it is. Okay, just on the top of this wick here, and the same with the bottom one, just on this little tiny wick just there. Okay, and that's it. That's how we put the trend line on. One thing I will say is that if you're putting the trend line on and you're looking for a higher high and there isn't one, And if you go back to the start of the session, this is the close and the open of the session. If there's no higher highs or lower lows, then all we do is we put them horizontal. Okay. And the way you do that is you would highlight the trend line, you would click Shift on your keyboard and just move your mouse. Oh, no you don't. Hang on. Let's do it again. So click it, click Shift, move it up, and it will just go horizontal. So if there are no higher highs or no lower lows, then we put it horizontal. But for this instance, we put it on top of the wick and we are ready to go. And as you can see, what's happened here on the 5 minute, again the 15 minute I've replayed it for illustration purposes, but to make it nice and simple and straightforward, what's happened is everything is duplicated on the 5 minute, and that's really what you want. If I go through, let's go back and replay this. So this is what we would get on the 5 minute, okay? And we've got the 1300 candle. Let's just play it. So essentially what we're looking for is we want price to go above the green trend line for the buy, and we want price to go below the red trend line for the sell. And there are a few other little nuances in relation to that. One of the things I like to do in the setup, okay, because we're talking about that, is I like to apply the vertical trend lines to the news, because I'm a visual kind of person. So here we've got US news, we've got medium impact news here, we've got low impact news here, we've got medium impact here, and we've got high impact news at the end of the session. So one thing we've got to be mindful of with trading gold is, because it's very volatile, it becomes even more volatile during times of news. So one thing I like to do is put these visuals on, so when I'm looking at the price action, then I know, okay, we've got news here, here, and here. And it just gives me a bit of a heads up in relation to that, because of the volatility. So that really is it. That's how to set up the Crossfire Gold, and also the Crossfire Forex pairs. Do it in the same way. Very simple and very straightforward. So I hope that goes to help in some way to help you understand the strategy, to understand how simple and straightforward it is, or how simple and straightforward it can be. But essentially that's how to set it up. And if you've got any questions, just put something in the comments or drop me a message in the usual way. All right, I'm John McLaughlin. We'll talk soon.